George. This is going to be another Vinyl Finds, hopefully kind of a quicker one. Sort of a follow-up to the last one I did where I showed, I think, 5 records from a record store a few towns away that had some really good stuff. But I bought 6 albums there, and there's a reason I've kind of waited to show the 6th. And then there's a few... couple online buys and a single, and so anyway, the 6th record that I bought there kind of happened on the spur of the moment. I had the stack of stuff I was buying, and I started talking to the guys, and they were super nice, and one of them asked me, is there anything sort of specific that you're looking for that you haven't been able to find? And I said, well, I'd really like to find a nice copy of the first Captain Beefheart album. And he said, yeah, those come in, but they're normally pretty beat. And I think I have sort of a beater copy in the back if you want to look at it. And I said, yeah, sure. And so we brought out this. And he had a really good price on it. The record was super, super clean for how beat up the album was. There's just really a scuff or two, and it plays, VG plus. But the cover is pretty, radio station copy, pretty nasty. But anyway, it was very cheap. They had sold it to me for a really good price. And I got home and started looking it up, and I figured out, it took quite a while to figure this out, because there's oddly a lot of different pressings of this record, and there's some bootleg pressings that kind of try to replicate the first pressing of it. But I figured out that this is an original stereo pressing of the record, but for some reason this is a 1970 reissue cover, which is really odd. I don't know if maybe at the record store they just got it in like that, or maybe they had, a record without a cover without a record and a record without a cover, or they did swapping to make the best copy they could, or I'm not sure. But, I kind of wanted the right one with the record, and this is not very nice to look at. So I went online, and I found a 67, I think? 67, 68. Anyway, I found the same pressing as the vinyl, which, the cover's not in the best shape, but it's a lot better than the other one with the writing over it. And it ended up coming with the super cool inner sleeve, and that was only $20, which, for swapping it, I got probably, $100 record for a third of the price. So I was pretty happy with that, and that inner sleeve is so cool. But anyway, so I'm pretty happy with this, and what a great album. Abba Zaba, Zigzag Wanderer. Probably my favorite on this is Electricity, Plastic Factory. Such a great record. Bluesy, garagey, psyche, strange. So I was super happy to get that. But I kind of don't know what to do with this now, because I've got still even a really crazy beat up cover with a really crazy beat up record of the wrong, thing. So I don't know I don't think any record store would really want it. I don't know if I should just give it to Goodwill and someone gets, a really crazy thrill or something. But anyway, happy to have a pretty good copy of this. And this is kind of, split, but I've seen stuff online about, repairing this. Anyway, happy with how little I paid for it compared to what they normally go for. So, original Captain Beefheart. And I thought I'd show this. I wasn't really going to show this, but talking about swapping and upgrading, I got this recently, and this is an original of the Sonic's second album, Sonic Boom, Sonic's Boom, with no cover. It's a first pressing. It's pretty pretty darn beat up, but it was $5. So I kind of wasn't going to pass that up. And yeah, so I was happy to get that. It plays all the way through. It doesn't skip, you know. Seems like a lot of 60s albums, people just use like coasters, and, you know, they're tough old things. So I was happy to find that. If anyone has just the cover and is interested in selling it, let me know. But that's probably a pretty slim chance. Anyway, happy to get that. Anyway, these few other things were things I found online, and this first one here is it's quite the title, 1,661 Seconds with Del Shannon, which I assume is the length of the record. This is his 1965 album, I think the album after Handyman, I want to say, because that's 64. Anyway, this is a really great record. I've seen copies, but they're normally pretty beat, and this is a really nice copy, as you can see. I think this is his best record. I think this plays really great all the way through. 3 of his best songs, Stranger in Town, Keep Searching and We'll Follow the Sun, and I Go to Pieces. I Go to Pieces is just fantastic. He does a really great cover of Needles and Pins, which might be my favorite version. And I didn't know, I was reading about Needles and Pins the other day, and I guess it was written by Sonny Bono and Jack Nitzsche, which is kind of interesting. He does a really good cover of Do You Want to Dance? A few other originals. There's a few songs that are a little fillerish, like She Cried, which kind of still has one foot in that sort of late 50s, early 60s ballad sort of thing. It's not that great. You know, I don't know if that was the record label trying to get him to have something in there to keep his audience he already had, or maybe it was just sort of his songwriting. I mean, even, you know, past Runaway, he always had a little bit of a foot in that doo-wop-y sort of sound of you know, his heyday. But maybe that was just sort of his songwriting. I'm not really sure. Either way, this record, even though it does have a flaw or two, this is a really great record. Yeah, like I said, Stranger in Town, I Go to Pieces, and Keep Searching are 3 of his best songs. It's sort of strange, too, because there's a lot of singles around this time where the B-side is a song he wrote, and there's so many covers on a lot of his records. I don't know if it was, you know, in an effort to something to do with publishing or something. I know, like, the single of Do You Want to Dance as a B-side that he wrote that isn't on this record, but I don't know if maybe that was so, if that happened to, his version of that happened to be a big hit, he'd still, you know, get some of the publishing. I always think of that happening with Soft Cell, where they had that big hit and neither sides were songs Mark Allman wrote, so, you know, he probably didn't nearly make as much as he would have. Anyway, Del Shannon, I love Del Shannon. This is a really great record. And another record I bought online is same year? No, this is 64. The other one's Del Shannon, 65. This was in a lot of stuff on eBay, and they didn't package it very well, so the corners kind of got crushed. But I bought it the lot for this one, and it was pretty cheap. And this happened to be right in the middle, so it didn't really get crushed. There's a little bit of, but it's hard to say if that was already there. Anyway, the other stuff is survived, and it's fine, you know, classic rock stuff that I can trade in or sell. But I bought it for this, and this is the first Kinks album, You Really Got Me, the U.S. Pressing. I don't know if track listing wise, the US and the UK were different versions for this one. But yeah, this is 64. It was in sort of ratty shrink that I tore off, so it's nice, clean cover. And this is really great. I mean, obviously, you really got me, and Stop Your Sobbing. I prefer, I think a lot of people prefer the Pretenders version. I prefer the Kinks version, but they do some, I mean, there's some covers on here that, yeah, or you could do without, but like their version of Beautiful Delilah, I think is better than the Chuck Berry version. Cadillac's a great cover. I think this is better all the way through than a lot of people give it credit for. And it is on Reprise, however you want to say it. I probably annoyed someone with my pronunciation. So Kinks really got me. And sticking with the Kinks, I did get this. A UK pressing of Tired of Waiting for You and Come On Now. And I think Tired of Waiting for You is the A-side, but Come On Now is one of my favorite Kinks songs. So I was really happy to find that. Anyway, I'll cut it there. And yeah, thanks for watching. And talk to you in the comments. Thanks. Bye.